Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So we'll start today the first words of first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and it starts with the conversation between Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. And here Dhritarashtra is asking to Sanjaya about what's going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. I would like to first brief about this whole chapter. That will be a good thing that we can do so that we get the clear idea what is going to be discussed in coming verses. So here, the Karmakand session, or Karma Yoga, sorry, not Karmakand, but Karma Yoga is discussed in Bhagavad Gita. There are different yogas, but it starts with first Karma Yoga. From this first chapter, the section 1 of this chapter contains the introduction of each and every personality who is there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Introduction of the situation in which Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So first 17 verses from text 1 to 17, we'll see that how Sanjaya has explained who is who and who is where on which side they are ready to fight. See, one thing that we can understand in today's world, with the so-called modern, what we can say, developments and modern achievements, people think that they are too modern. And the people who stayed in previous yugas, they are like Stone Age people. They are not that developed. But here, the first verse and the first session of Bhagavad Gita, or first chapter, itself clearly give indication that how developed human beings were there of that time. Dhritarashtra was sitting in his own palace. Next to him, Sanjaya. And by sitting there, Sanjaya was telling him what's happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So the actual geographical position, if you consider, they are almost away from 365 kilometers, almost 280 or 290 miles. And by sitting there, Sanjay can visualize what's going on, and not only that, he can read minds. His minds of people who are present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Today, we don't have any sort of a gadget or any electronic equipment which can make us understand. From cameras, they can, through the satellites, they can telecast what's going on there, but they can't telecast what's going on in the minds of the people there. And for that, they need a huge investment, huge infrastructure. But here, only a Sanjay. He was sitting there and he was narrating the whole thing. He was able to see each and everything happening there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And what is there on, that is again in verse, not 17, 27 verses of this chapter. In that also, the first 11 verses is a preparation of war. How the both parties are ready to fight. That has explained. Then from text number 12 to 20, the signs of victory of Pandavas has explained. Before that fight or war started, the signs of Pandavas' victory has already seen by the people. And then from text 21 to 27, we can see the wonderful quality of the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. How he is affectionate to his own devotees. In this section 2 of this chapter, which is consisting of verses, it's 28 to 46. Again, there are 5 sections or 5 different divisions of this section of chapter, where Arjuna's particular qualities are explained. The first of all, from text 28 to 30, his compassionate nature has explained how he felt compassion for his own kinsman. Then secondly, he is explaining about by killing all these people, whatever enjoyment I'm going to get it, I don't want. Again, there are five sections of five of this section of Shastra, where Arjuna's particular qualities are explained. First of all, from text 28 to 30, his compassionate nature and how compassion for. And secondly, he is explaining about by killing all these people, whatever I joined, he wanted to give up. And he wanted to go away from battle. And what reasons he gives for that? Fear of simple fear. And that is explained in text number 36 to 30. Then further, another danger that is foreseen, that is the destruction of family. And lastly, his indecision to fight. He is not able to decide what to do. So this is what the chaotic condition of each and every living entity in that day-to-day life. They have a dilemma whether they should do it or not. And there is a link between first and second chapter. So we'll see it gradually. So let's start with the first verse of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamadha Pandavashchaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of the Pandavas assembled in the place of a pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, deciding to fight, what did they do? Now, the theme of this verse is that Dhritarashtra is inquiring from Sanjay. And what he inquires about? After my sons and the sons of Pandavas are assembled in the place of the pilgrimage, that is Dharmakshetra, at Kurukshetra desiring to fight, what did they do? In the purport, Prabhupada explains that Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in Gita. There it is say that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretation. The example of clear understanding is there in Bhagavad Gita itself. In the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in that line of the succession, without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. See, Prabhupada here makes a very clear that Bhagavad Gita is a theistic science through which you can understand the Supreme Personality of God. And you can understand that God is a person, not impersonal. See, there are more than 700 to 800 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Interpretation given by different personalities according to their own spiritual understanding. But here Prabhupada says that how you should understand or study Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita itself explains about how to understand this knowledge. In the 4th chapter, Lord explains to Arjuna that it should be accepted from disciplic succession. And as he got this knowledge from the Lord, one should get this knowledge from the representative of the Lord. And what is the benefits of studying Bhagavad Gita? One surpasses all these studies of Vedic wisdom and scriptures of the world if you study Bhagavad Gita. As Shankaracharya has explained, Gita Sujita Kartavyam Kim Anya Shastra Vistaraihi Ya Swayam Patnavasya Mukha Padmat Vinisraha. That need to be understood. And further, Prabhupada says, one will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures. But the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of Bhagavad Gita. It is perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Sri Krishna. And now, Prabhupada starts explaining why Dhritarashtra has asked this particular question. He knows they are there, but still he asks question. My sons and the sons of Pandava. Here we can see the partial behavior or the partiality of a Dhritarashtra towards his own son. Prabhupada writes here, the word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the topics discussed by the Dhritarashtra and Sanjay as described in the Mahabharata from the basic principles for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, it's significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? He was confident that the both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in the field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement in the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want to the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of sons on the battle. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship. Even for the denizens of heaven, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore, by mercy of Vyasa, Sanjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra about the situation on the battle. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family. But Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed here. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews. The sons of Pandu, as in the battlefield, the unnecessary plans are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of this topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plans like a Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. This is significant of the word Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So, first of all, Dhritarashtra's partiality has shown that he refers his own sons as Kurus and he separates Pandavas from the heritage of dynasty. And here Prabhupada explains about the two particular words. One is Brahmakshetra and second thing as Kurukshetra. In the Treta Yuga, the beginning, when Maharaj Raghu was a king of Ayodhya, he used to perform huge sacrifices, huge yagyas, and that Kurukshetra used to be a yagya kunda those days in Treta Yuga, where thousands and thousands of yagyas were performed by Maharaj. So it is a very sacred place, a holy place, and worshipable even for the demigods. What we speak of a human being, it was even worshipable for the heavenly denizens. And as Prabhupada has explained in the last part of this purport, he gives one wonderful analogy of paddy field. When you grow paddy, generally with the paddy, unwanted grass and plants, they also sprout. So Prabhupada refers here this Kurukshetra as a paddy field of religion. And what will be taken away from this field of religion? The irreligious miscreants. And who are they? Kauravas. Duryodhana and Pandava. And who will remove this? Father of religion, the Lord, Chakrathani. And Prabhupada writes it here. Unnecessary weeds will be taken out. Similarly, in religious field of Kurukshetra, in the presence of the father of religion, unwanted plants like a Dhritarashtra and his son Duryodhana and others would be wiped out. And this is what is going to happen. Then, what Sanjaya describes, that starts from the text number 2. And that will is system. Correct. Bhagavad Gita ki